Ellen, but I'm furious.
I have to stop watching the news. CNN, PBS, online. Our government is placing the migrant families in prison. Children in cages, dogs, armed guards, babies pulled from their mother's arms. What will happen to them?
This makes me crazy. The family separation policies have been going on for over a year. No one has any plans on reuniting them.
They really don't. And these governments, the local officials, the national leaders, it won't do any good to contact them. I mean, they have no influence at the border or with immigration policies. And besides, they are just
Bloomin' idiots is what they are. But guys, we absolutely have to do something.
The Department of Homeland Security, and we know what they're worth, just said it separated as many as 3,000 children just in the past few months. I saw a photo of piles of tiny shoes. No people, just piles of abandoned baby shoes.
Look, listen, I've heard something. There's some people caravanning down from New York, down to the border, to find out what's happening. They call themselves Grannies Respond. They're coming through New Orleans and would like to meet with women like us.
You gotta love it. Grannies! Harmless little old grannies. We're invisible to everyone. We don't threaten anybody. They can get on the Mexican side of the border, see what's happening over there, infiltrate the courts, organize protests, support families in detention.
There's more. Apparently, there's a difference between illegal aliens and, refugees and legal asylum seekers, and what the so-called government calls illegal aliens. Under both U.S. and international law, a person having a well-founded fear of persecution can present themselves to the border of another country and request an asylum hearing and a court date.
Well, I think there's another problem. Climate change reports that I'm reading say that thousands of women and children are arriving at the Mexican border. They're traveling all that way from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, making that horrible trip because their farms are failing due to repeated droughts. They were already poor. Now they can barely feed their families.
When the hunters take over, kidnap the men, shoot them, and then bury them in unmarked graves.
That's right. The narco gangs are kidnapping teenage boys and girls. They have to join up or they have to run. They have to run. There's droughts and failing governments and the military and the gangs.
Abusive husbands, domestic violence, we know about that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen to this. At the border, the migrants can ask for asylum. A common element of their petitions is that police and other law enforcement agencies would not or could not protect them.
Hey, we've traveled with children. It is no picnic. I bet they don't have any food or money, and if they did, what's there to buy in a bus station anyway?
Well, here's a wild, stupid idea. What if we meet those buses when they get here?
Wild, but not stupid. At New Orleans, Well, there's a problem. I hate to be the one with the problems, but there is a problem.
City Hall.
City Hall. We'd have to clear an idea like that through all kinds of bureaucrats and gatekeepers. You know, immigration is a hot, hot button issue. Dear Lord, we'd have to work with City Hall. They would paperwork us to death and then refuse.
No, no, no. We're just harmless little old ladies. We don't threaten anybody. No power, no money. We're just little old ladies who bake cookies for kids who are hungry. Who could object to that?
Me, that too. Who can't bake, won't bake. But hey, guys, this is New Orleans. Between us, we know everybody in town. Okay? There's people in your neighborhood, okay, in your book clubs, in your breast cancer support group, your Mardi Gras cruise, you yoga types here. And hey, I know the whole lesbian and gay community. Up close and personal.
Okay, that's it. When they caravan through here, we'll have a meet and greet. I know some good people at First Grace United Methodist Church. I'll contact my networks and they'll contact theirs.
Hey, the Granny Respond website says they have t-shirts. It also says they're recruiting granny types and granny men. They're going through McAllen, Texas, down to the border, and find out as much as they can about the detainees.
That's my kind of trip. Stand witness. Carry posters. Let them know that we see the migrants and what's happening to them. Get another t-shirt. What's our posters gonna say?
How about go grannies go? Or better yet, reunite families.
Okay, good people of First Grace. At this point in our story, you're probably wondering, did they hatch this wild scheme? Raise funds, recruit volunteers, help people? How?
Well, the totes that we packed became large totes that we called care kits. We packed wet wipes and tissues, toilet paper, toothbrushes and toothpaste, period products. We packed healthy snacks like peanut butter crackers and granola bars, vitamin-loaded drinks. We packed kids' toys, stuffies, tiny cars, dinosaurs, diapers of all sizes, produce when we had it, anything that we thought they needed. We also packed index cards that were written in Spanish and English, stating their rights under U.S. laws and explaining who we, the NOLA grannies, are.
Here's what I know. Starting in August of 2018, we distributed approximately 21,000 care kits. 21,000 in that first year. That was approximately 400 totes per week. That meant that the shopper grannies compared prices, bought all the stuff, then gave it to the packer grannies who went from the Greyhound bus station to a storage unit on St. Charles and then to the basement of St. George's Church. Do you know how heavy 21,000 sealed bottles of water are? And we're not spring chickens anymore. High five, friends.
All that money and work, it was for those people on the buses. Meeting them meant an early morning bus and a late night a week. We saw sick kids and sick mothers, sick babies, sick women, 2 young girls who arrived with an infant whose umbilical cord was still fresh, women who had been raped along the journey wherever and whenever chance provided, parts of families lost, single women and men and children alone and in shock. We learned to read complicated bus schedules and use those translation apps. Their stories broke our hearts, but kept us moving.
And money? We never ran out of money. People begged us to take their checks and donations. People signed up for monthly contributions. A stranger slipped a $100 bill into a granny pocket. For the kids, the stranger said. People sent money from far away. And the locals? So many locals came to our fundraising parties. And volunteers. We have no idea how many people volunteered over the long run. Grannies roped in their neighbors, their relatives, even tourists. Some of you here today are grannies. You helped us get through the COVID epidemic and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you.
In January of 2019, when Trump started the Stay in Mexico program, we began to partner with local grassroots organizations serving the Hispanic community here in New Orleans, such as the Women's Warriors, the Migrants Union, legal advocacy groups, Project Ishmael. We even organized sewing machines for women. Grannies organized transportation to and from remote rural areas. Some grannies even taught English as a second language.
Another answer from August of 2018 until May of 2025, through the first Trump administration, through the COVID epidemic, through one Biden administration, and into the second Trump administration, we persisted. Donations, money, volunteers were like migrants on buses. They kept on coming.
The summer of 2025, we had to stop packing, raising funds, meeting the buses. The migrants are still arriving at the border, but the legal loopholes we found to help them have all but disappeared. We know that ICE is picking up our friends and neighbors. We're afraid that teenagers and kids are still being separated from their families. And we know for a fact that asylum seekers with legal status are being arrested by ICE anyway. We're afraid that this will keep happening. And now, did you know that Louisiana, already known for sky-high incarceration rates, is building more private detention centers? And we can't stand outside and visit anymore, let alone go inside. We are cut off by a hostile government and blockaded access roads.
Nonetheless, we grannies still believe that somehow we planted seeds of social justice far beyond our totes or our city. We are like flames of resistance, like your church, ready to flare into action. So the grannies, like you good people of First Grace, are asking ourselves, what can we do now?
First, they came for the socialists.
Then they came for the union members.
Then they came for the Jews.
And now they have come for the children.
Do something!
And now we'd like to share with you the rest of the story by having you hear our writer, Martha Ward.